Your liver has been drowning in its own fat for 12 years. You have not noticed. If your waist measures more than 40 inches, if you have had a sugary drink most days for more than 10 years, there is a 7-stage ladder climbing inside your liver right now, and you cannot feel it. Your body has not sent you a single alert. You can still walk away clean from stage 4. Stage 7 is different. Stage 7 is the year your liver stops cleaning your blood, and your own body begins to poison your brain. This is how your liver slowly drowns itself in 7 stages. Stage 1 starts the first year more fat arrives at your liver than it can burn. Your liver is the busiest organ in your body. It filters your blood, builds your proteins, stores your fuel, and breaks down everything you eat or drink. When you eat more sugar than you burn, especially fructose, the sugar in soda and juice and almost everything processed, your liver converts the excess into fat. A healthy liver is less than 5% fat. In stage 1, that number climbs 5%, 8%, 10%. The fat collects inside individual liver cells as droplets, the way water beads inside a sponge. This is called steatosis, simple fatty liver. 1 in 3 adults in the developed world already has it. Most of them have no idea. Your liver does not have pain receptors inside it. It cannot tell you it is filling with fat. This is the part nobody flags. You feel nothing. You feel slightly more tired after meals. You assume it is a heavy lunch. You undo your top button on the drive home. Stage 1 is your liver quietly turning into foie gras. But that is not the dangerous part. Stage 2 is the year the fat starts a fire. Here is what is supposed to happen. Fat sits in the liver as inert storage, and if you lose weight, it leaves. But past a certain load, the fat stops being inert. The droplets become toxic. They leak free fatty acids that damage the machinery inside each liver cell. The cells begin to swell. Pathologists call this ballooning. The hepatocyte puffs up like a water balloon about to burst. The immune system notices the damage and sends in inflammatory cells. The liver is now inflamed. This is called steatohepatitis. The H in the middle is the difference between a liver that can recover and a liver that is starting to scar. Roughly 1 in 5 people with fatty liver crosses into this stage. Your liver enzymes, ALT and AST, might rise slightly now. But here is the thing. In most people with steatohepatitis, the enzymes stay completely normal. The standard liver panel your doctor runs misses it. You feel none of this either. You feel a dull ache under your right rib sometimes. You assume it is a muscle. You start a milk thistle supplement. Some of it helps, most of it does not. Stage 2 is the fire your blood work cannot see. Most people stop here. Most people are wrong. Stage 3 is when the liver starts laying down scar. Inside your liver are cells called stellate cells. Normally they sleep. When the inflammation of stage 2 does not stop, the stellate cells wake up and do the only thing they know how to do. They produce collagen, scar tissue, and then the scar begins to spread. It starts as thin strands wrapping around clusters of liver cells. Doctors grade it from F0, no scar, to F4, full cirrhosis. Stage 3 is F1 and F2, early and moderate fibrosis. The strands are thickening, but the liver still works. There is a test that measures this. It is called a fibroscan, a painless ultrasound probe that measures how stiff your liver has become. A healthy liver is soft. A scarring liver is stiff. The stiffer it reads, the more scar you have. Almost no general practitioner orders a fibroscan in stage 3. It is not part of a routine physical. Less than 1 in 20 people with fatty liver gets one before it is too late. Here is the part nobody screens for. You feel none of this. You feel tired in a way sleep does not fix. You feel your waistband getting tighter even as your arms get thinner. You assume it is age. You start walking more. The walking helps. It does not undo what is already laid down. By the end of stage 3, scar tissue is woven through your liver, but it is still technically reversible. But most people at this point are doing fine by every measure they have access to. Their blood work is clean. Their doctor is satisfied. They are tired all the time and they think that is just what being 40 feels like. Before we move on, 3 stages in, your liver filled with fat. The fat caught fire. The fire laid down scar. And here is the part that breaks people. The next 4 stages happen while your liver enzymes still read normal. Stage 4 is the year the scar starts to bridge. Here is the cruel part. None of stages 1 through 3 reliably shows on a standard blood panel. Your ALT is normal. Your AST is normal. Your cholesterol might even look fine. You ask if your liver is okay. The answer comes back yes. Most adults live between stage 3 and 4 for years. They feel slightly worse. They blame age. They blame work. They keep getting blood work done and keep being told they are fine. The only thing telling them the truth is their waistband. The next 4 stages are what happens when the scar becomes permanent. What happens next is worse. Stage 4 is the year the scar tissue starts bridging. In stage 3, the scar was thin strands around individual clusters of cells. In stage 4, those strands connect. They form bridges, thick bands of collagen reaching from one region of the liver to another, walling off whole districts of working tissue. This is F3 fibrosis, bridging fibrosis. And then the geometry of the liver changes. Blood that used to flow smoothly through the tissue now has to squeeze around walls of scar. The liver is becoming a maze. The working cells are getting cut off from their blood supply. This is the last stage that can still substantially reverse. With aggressive weight loss, losing 10% of your body weight, bridging fibrosis can still regress in many people. After this stage, the window starts closing. Your standard panel still may not catch it. A fibroscan would show high stiffness now. An ultrasound would show a liver that is starting to look coarse and irregular instead of smooth. Most people never get either scan, and then it gets worse. You feel it now, a little. You bruise more easily. Small cuts bleed longer. Your liver makes the proteins that clot your blood, and a scarred liver makes fewer of them. You assume you are just clumsy. Stage 4 is the year the maze finishes building. But here is what no one tells you next. Stage 5 is cirrhosis. This is F4. The bridges of scar have connected across the entire liver. The organ is now riddled with bands of collagen surrounding islands of liver cells trying to regenerate. Those islands are called regenerative nodules, and they give a cirrhotic liver its characteristic lumpy surface. The liver shrinks, it hardens. On a scan, it looks knobbly and small. This is the moment an imaging scan would unmistakably see you. A CT or MRI shows a shrunken, nodular liver. A fibroscan reads off the top of the scale. Cirrhosis is no longer subtle, but here is the strange part. Early cirrhosis is called compensated cirrhosis. The liver is severely scarred, but still doing just barely enough to keep you alive and symptom light. People live in compensated cirrhosis for years without knowing. Roughly 1 to 2% of the entire adult population has cirrhosis, and a large fraction do not know it. You might notice small red spider-like marks on your skin. You might notice your palms are red. You might notice you are more tired than any explanation accounts for. You assume it is stress. Stage 5 is a scan away from being undeniable. Almost no one gets the scan in time. This is where it becomes permanent. Most people with compensated cirrhosis spend their Sundays doing nothing unusual. They make coffee, they sit, they feel a little tired. They assume this is just what getting older feels like. Nothing about their afternoon tells them what their liver looks like on a scan. 1 year of fatty liver is a tiredness after meals you blame on lunch. 5 years is a waistband that keeps expanding and a fatigue that sleep does not touch. But 12 years is a liver 2/3 turned to scar, a body that bruises like fruit, and a blood test your doctor still calls normal. Here is where we are. The fat arrived. The fat caught fire. The fire laid down scar. The scar bridged. The liver hardened into cirrhosis. You are now 5 stages from the start, and the next 2 stages are when the silent damage becomes visible, and the body the liver was protecting begins to flood and poison itself. Stage 6 is the year the liver can no longer keep up. A cirrhotic liver is a liver under enormous internal pressure. Blood arrives from your intestines and hits a wall of scar. It has nowhere to go. The pressure builds behind the blockage the way water backs up behind a dam. Doctors call it portal hypertension. The pipes behind your liver at the breaking point, and then the backed up blood finds other routes. It swells the veins around your esophagus and stomach into fragile balloons called varices, which can rupture and bleed catastrophically. Fluid weeps out of the congested vessels and fills your abdomen, a swollen belly heavy with liters of fluid called ascites. The toxins your liver used to catch now pass straight through into your bloodstream and reach your brain. Your thoughts slow. Words disappear mid-sentence. Doctors call it hepatic encephalopathy, your brain running on dirty blood. This is called decompensated cirrhosis. The liver has run out of reserve. The worst part is the speed. Once decompensation starts, the median survival without a transplant is around 2 years. You are not guessing anymore. Your belly is swollen. Your ankles fill with fluid. You forget words. Your family notices before you do. Stage 6 is the year the damage finishes coming to the surface. But that is not the worst of it. Stage 7 is the final stage. Most people who reach it look unmistakably ill. There are 2 ways stage 7 ends. The first is liver failure. The organ simply can no longer perform the 500 jobs it does to keep you alive, and without a transplant, the body shuts down. The second is cancer. A cirrhotic liver is a liver in a permanent state of damage and frantic regeneration. Every time a cell divides to replace a dead one, there is a chance of a copying error. Over years of cirrhosis, those errors accumulate. One of the regenerative nodules turns malignant. This is hepatocellular carcinoma, liver cancer, and cirrhosis is its single biggest cause. But here is the part nobody is told. By the time liver cancer is found, it is often too advanced to cut out, because the rest of the liver is too scarred to survive surgery. 5-year survival for advanced liver cancer is in the single digits. Most of those people sat in stages 1 through 4 for a decade, were told their blood work was normal, and never had a single scan of the organ that was quietly turning to scar inside them. This is what 12 years of a silent fatty liver looks like. This is the year, the month, the diagnosis. Here is the part no doctor will tell you. The damage is real. The blood work reads clean. The standard panel was never built to catch this, and for 12 years it did not. 7 stages: fat, inflammation, scar, bridging, cirrhosis, decompensation, cancer. There is no warning in stage 2. There is no symptom in stage 4. There is no coming back after stage 7. Ask your doctor for a fibroscan or a FIB4 score before you turn 50, even if your blood work is normal. That single number tells you where you are on this ladder. Most doctors will not order it. You have to ask. The most dangerous thing about a dying liver is that it feels survivable right until the year it isn't. Send this to anyone who got a normal blood test this year and thinks that means their liver is fine. A normal result is the most dangerous thing this disease has going for it. And if your own last result came back normal, tell me in the comments, did anyone ever scan the organ itself? Subscribe. The next stage of this story is your kidneys, and the same 12 years of metabolic strain are quietly scarring them too, right now, for the same upstream reason.